Hey, Beat Baseball World! We are back for another episode of the Beat Ball Blues Show as we reach March, getting closer and closer to TBBS's second birthday. And other thing that is prominent is in March, the month of March for Beat Baseball, is that any team that wants to be registered for the 2022 season had to do it by March 1st. So that's what we're going to do here today with my boy Seth Doggy. What else?
So we're gonna register. We can get online and register. Is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna show the people the process of actually registering the team, or are we just gonna talk about who has already been registered? Got to be precise.
The latter.
Got to be precise with your language. You don't want to fool the peoples out here, Neil Dog.
I realize.
Register online. I was almost gonna start, as you said that, say DAWG Dogs in the house. Though we'll have to come up with the new cheer. Out with the old, in with the new.
I don't know if that's necessarily true because they abandoned it when you and I were both gone. They abandoned that cheer, I believe. They came up with it. I never heard it.
I heard it, and it sounded stupid if I remember correctly. They didn't change it dramatically. They just changed it. But yeah, no.
Yeah, but no, the latter, and you're right. I'm not very precise. I realize when I listen back to parts of the show, like I really muddle words.
Right.
I don't know why we're doing this. Well, why you're doing it with me? Because I'm not the clearest of speakers.
Hey, that it's like I would tell students sometimes when they would come in and complain about their grades, about papers and stuff, and they tell me what they were trying to say. It's like, I hear you what you're saying right now, but that's not what the paper says. Like, I got to grade the paper. I appreciate that you understand all this stuff, but that's not what you wrote. So sorry. Preciseness, Neil Dog.
Yeah, I will work on it. I brought in an expert to help us. Our friend that's joined us many times, the author and the host of the Beep podcast, Mr. Richie Flores. What up, Richie?
Hey, Neil. Hey, Bam, Seth. What's going on, guys? Richie. Just glad to break down some beat ball with you guys today.
Richie. You are, you've been warming my heart. Aren't you from Texas originally?
Originally from Texas.
Yeah. You see, anybody who moves from Texas to California has got to be good in my eyes. I question those.
And a Cowboy fan, Bam.
Oh, there you go.
That's always a plus.
From Danny White to Dak Prescott.
Look at that. There, another man after my own heart, man. That means he rolled through the catch and all the disappointments and all that good stuff.
Sir.
How old are you, Richie?
I just turned 40, man, back in October.
How were you a Danny White fan?
Tecmo Nintendo 8-bit.
I was like, man, I know my dates, man. And if you were 40, if you were born in 82, Danny White got kicked out of there in 86.
Yeah, he was on the Nintendo game. Him and Herschel Walker was on there.
Really, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's cray. But let's not talk about football.
Yeah.
Oh, Herschel.
Football's over. Beat ball's now.
Dude, football is never over. We just had the combine,
Yeah, right.
That's true. That's what we can talk about, man.
That's true. NFL always wins.
Yes. Jordan Davis. I have a request, Dallas Cowboys. I've been begging for a big D tackle for years and years and years, 350-something plus. Jordan Davis from Georgia, 6'6", 350, 341, runs a 4.7.
They'll plug some holes right there.
That's what I want. That's what I want for Christmas. Jordan Davis, please.
I've always wanted to run a base run at least 5'7".
And you're not even 6'6", 340, man. That's a big man to be moving that damn fast.
I heard you ran about a 5.7 last year when you were streaking in Iowa. So that was the fastest they ever saw Richie Flores run.
Maybe we just need to run a skins team, and I'll be back.
Yeah, I hear John Parker would be down with that.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
We're already
Somebody
off
told
the
us
rails, Neil.
that Steve Stambaugh told us the story of John Parker, I think.
In a Speedo.
In a Speedo.
Playing beatball in a Speedo? Bathing
Okay.
suit.
Yeah.
Man.
Doesn't even seem like a good idea on any level. I just can't think of one reason for that.
Oh, it's so funny to hear Christina after that say, "Oh, that's how I remember first meeting John Parker in a Speedo all those years ago." Oh.
I was going to share a little story. It's not beatball or football related, but I mostly, Seth, it's the kind of thing that happens to me that you've always found funny. It's kind of blind.
Neil Felligan.
It's something that I think our audience, being blind related, either being blind or knowing blind people would understand. But I changed the furniture around in my bedroom. And I am somebody who is like a total creature of habit. Not because I think I should be. It's just the way I've always lived. I do things in the same patterns. Like I sometimes feel embarrassed, even though I have sprinklers in my front and backyard. There are parts of my yard that the sprinklers don't hit, so I got to water them with the hose. And I feel embarrassed sometimes when I'm out watering in my front yard because I know I do all those same spots the same exact way every single time that I go out there and water. Even sometimes when I think, just so I don't look like a freak to my neighbors, I'm going to change it up. And before I even get that thought out of my head, I'm back doing the same pattern the same way every time. So the way my room is set up now is the way I originally set it up when I moved here like 30 years ago. But when I got cable in my bedroom, many moons ago, I changed the room around because of where the cable is coming in. But I haven't had a TV in my room in like 20 years. Like, man, I'm going to change it back. I just felt like something new and different, or not new, but just felt like something different. So I move all the furniture around in my room. And before, you would come into my room, as you got through the little doorway or whatever, you run into the side of my bed within a couple of feet, and headboards on the left with the foot of the bed going down to the right.
Oh, can I stop you real quick? I would always run into your unused pull-up bar that would be at the top of your door jamb.
It's not unused. I hang shirts and stuff from it to dry.
That was a great pull-up bar. We Trajan has one or whatever. But man, every time I walk through the damn door, boom! Like, I forgot again, man. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
It's been a while though. I put that in the room we call the Murphy room.
Yeah,
I put that in that doorway now. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
So now when you come in, you could literally walk straight across to the other side of my room from the doorway. Like there's a window on the other side that looks over my backyard. You could literally walk straight to that window now. Now, something I've always done, my headboard has like a little cubby hole like in the middle of it, and at night that's where I put my cell phone. And I usually turn my phone off at night. And once I turn it off, I would always, just so I wouldn't drop it somewhere and forget where I left it, I always would take it in and put it in that little cubby hole in my nightstand or my headboard. Now, something I always did, because it's just like a 1-2 step and my bed would be right there. I would do a couple steps and I'd drop my right knee onto the bed so I could lean in and put it into the cubby hole. So now, because I'm such a creature of habit, there's been like 2 or 3 times I go wandering in there, step, knee, bam, all the way. And each time it's happened, my first thought is, Seth would just be laughing.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody's laughing at me hitting the ground more than you.
Well, I do enjoy a good Neil Fall story, man. I would like to see that, though. That would be funny, especially if we were there. Now we'll know what that sound is. Like, Neil forgot he moved.
Well, it's usually pretty quiet, though, because they're carpet. So, it's a quiet, it's not, Other than me
I
going,
was going to say, except for hearing Neil's go, oh,
yeah.
shit, damn, or whatever it was. So.
No, but you're right. Each time it's happened, there's nobody around, and I'm still embarrassed as hell. just between me and God. And
as you should be. As you should be.
Anyways, I knew you would enjoy that, so I thought I'd share with the class.
Yeah,
so we've got over 30 teams that have registered.
It's going to be a huge World Series this year, Neil Dog. A huge World Series this year. I don't even know how they're going to get all those games in. Amazing. I want the Dogs to play the NBBA officials, though. That's what I'm looking for.
That's funny. I do have some feedback on folks wanting to play the Dogs already. So.
I was one of my questions. I think that was my kind of end of the program questions. Was I saw the Dogs.
People still begging for ass whoopings out there. Yeah. Didn't we take enough names in our runs, man? People still begging to hear that chant while we beating you off the field. Come on now.
They want the Dogs to play in California for once in their life, maybe. Play a game in California.
Yeah, I don't think the Dogs have ever really played a game in California.
We have. We've had two.
Oh, we had the World Series here.
The World Series was here twice. It was in Sacramento.
I didn't play in Stockton, so I was a Heat in Stockton.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't. Yeah. By then, the Dogs were,
enemies.
Yeah, enemies of the state at that point in time. So yeah, that's right. I was thinking Stockton as a Heat.
We won our first championship in '99 here in Sacramento.
Yep. And I was just at that field last weekend watching Landry win a championship a tournament in soccer.
Yeah, it's funny. You didn't even know they come over to my house, Richie. They just played. Their daughter's playing in a soccer tournament out where we hosted the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even realize that they're back where we won the World Series.
No idea.
2009, I think, right? And I think
that was Stockton. Sacramento's 90.
Okay.
Long time ago, back in the day.
Richie, like 17 years old or something.
Yeah, right.
2009 was the first time we ever had streams in Stockton. That was the first time our families could watch the World Series back at home, because I don't remember who it was on the Heat, Bam Bam, but you all knocked the Blackhawks out of the tournament.
Oh, yeah. And it was me making the final put out of the game, man. What are you talking about?
It was a bomb. Somebody hit I think we were tied. You guys were bottom of the six, and you had the hammer, and the first guy up to bat was just kind of hit a bomb and scored and a walk off, right? And but yeah, I remember my one of my family members was watching at the time, and then I was on the phone with them, and they hit the ball, and he's like, "Oh, it's gone." They're like, "Oh man."
Yeah, there was a website. I don't even remember what it was called, that some volunteers ran. They covered a lot of amateur sports in Central California, more focus on Modesto, Stockton, that area. But somehow the Stockton group got them involved, and that's what they did on their website, is stream amateur sports for the most part. So they somehow got connected with our World Series in Stockton and came out and did quite a few games. So that was actually pretty cool. I don't know how many people were able to find the website afterwards or whatever, go back and watch the games, or how long they stayed up there. But you're right, I never thought of that, but that was the first time that they were streaming. Although Steve Guerra had been setting up before that, streaming the audio for championship games.
Right, go ahead, right. I was just going to say, then I amend my statement. I don't believe the Dogs have ever lost maybe but one game here in the state of California.
Yeah.
No, both those, the '99 and the 2009 tournament, the Dogs were undefeated both times.
Yeah, so. I can't remember if you guys lost one on the first day. I mean, there were times that we went 2-1 on the first day because we didn't really care about the third win or whatever.
No, not in either of those tournaments.
Ooh, right. Too bad you guys couldn't have gone winless in the Stockton tournament. That's what I was hoping for.
Don't be a hater. You're a dog again.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't be a hater.
Dogs in the house.
All right. Well, let's run down all of these teams, because I'm guessing along the way we will find things to talk about. Starting with the very first team, I'm going to go down in alphabetical order. That's where they're listed on the teams page, NBBA.org, if anybody wants to go check that out, after the show's over, of course. But start with the Atlanta Chaos. Mr. Flores, you got anything to say about the Chaos? You know any players jumping their way?
Hear about on March 26th. I'm going to get to know all the players because I'll be at the practice, their first kind of full team practice where all the out-of-towners are coming into town. And, I played with them a little bit over the pandemic, and I'm going to give it a shot at the World Series with them this year. So hopefully, I got good friends on there with Garrett Scott and Dontre, Chubby, and Cortez is a good pitcher. Really good coach. We had the coach of the year probably last year. Roy Cody. And,
we had Roy Cody on our show along with Rosina, their play-by-play person.
Rosina, and she's already
shout out.
Yep, she's already scheduled to come to the World Series again and do some more streams, and we're good to go with Chaos, man. It's going to be fun. We have our first tournament in Athens, I believe, April 22nd weekend. Bayou City Heat's coming. Some team from Florida, I believe either the Bandits or the new team. I think it's the Bandits though. And
that makes more sense.
And St. Louis, the Archers. So Gateway.
All right. It'll be a nice little tournament.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Shout out Atlanta Chaos. Moving down, we go to the Austin Blackhawks, another one of Richie's former teams. You're starting to get around, Richie.
Hey, I'm challenging Danny Fabiano on. But
Danny
Austin,
and Eric, you need to do a better job. Like they jump to teams when they think
they're
going to win a championship.
Yeah. I want playing time, not championships. I think is
it is always a very delicate balance, man. A delicate balance.
Yeah. No, Austin, man. What is this? They're like their 40th World Series in a row here.
1987 was their first one.
Yes.
So the only I was gonna say the only one they missed was Taiwan, but I'm tripping. They didn't miss Taiwan. They were in Taiwan, yeah.
Yep.
So
why would they miss Taiwan of all the
I know. I don't. Exactly. Right.
Why would they?
Exactly right. I mean, I don't know why my mind was even going there. They didn't miss either. Oh shoot, we ended up in Taiwan partly because of Austin. So.
Well, they're scary. They got what were they, third last year at the World Series or something like that, and they have a huge team. They could field a team of women. They could field a team of youth. They could field a team of old people and young people. They're huge, man. The Austin Blackhawks are going to come prepared. Timmy's going to pitch and they're going to hit.
Well, I hope Timmy pitches because they didn't look very good yesterday. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just going to point out
they got it.
There was a mini tournament in somewhere in Texas.
It was in Austin.
It was in Austin. All right, I didn't know where it was played. I didn't know actually until I didn't even know those games were going to be going on. Your boy Axel doesn't need me anymore, Richie. So I don't get no information from him anymore. I was helping
he's on that board of directors, so he's such a big wig that he doesn't need anybody.
I was helping Axe out with some stuff for a while, and he don't need me no more, so I don't get no info about Texas anymore. But the Blackhawks, the Jets, and the Bayou City Heat played a little mini tournament. The Jets went 2-0. The Heat went 1-1, and Austin went 0-2 in those games. And that's what I was saying. I didn't know. I had planned on going back and listening to the first game I heard about, which was the Jets and the Heat. But then I realized that was just one of a bunch of games. Like, man, I can't go back and listen to all these games to see what happened. But
and I believe that the Jets were up like 15-1 or 13-1 in like
in the first game.
Yeah, they ruled them. Yeah, they
I was like, man, that would be a very fun game to go back and watch, but it is what it is.
I think the final was like 16-14.
It was.
Like,
they came back. They made it a 3-run game, but you know how it is. If you have 5 innings still left to go back, it's not quite, or 3 innings to go left and back.
Right. Is Bayou City next on that list, or
they are? That's the next team on the list.
Yeah, well, you know what's really cool is they actually had a good game against Austin. I think it was 12-11. There was a walk-off.
Yeah, Cousin, our boy Cousin had the walk-off hit.
You know, some of their new additions here with combining with the Aztec Warriors. You know, Cousin's going to show up. Johnny Steele's on that team now, who's pretty fast. And
Marvin Morgan.
Now. They got some Jersey players.
Mike Coughlin, Randy George.
They got a whole bunch of people. They're very excited. I'm even gonna come out of retirement. You know, I want to get on the championship train, Richie.
Okay.
No playing time. Just give me a ring.
Fonzie knows how to hit the golf swing. You know how to do that. So.
if I still had a golf swing. But go ahead.
I was actually I talked to Eric Mazriegos for a while yesterday. I hadn't talked to him in quite a while. We were just getting caught up, but we talked a little bit about beat ball, and he's like, I don't know about Bayou City. They seem to have divided. I was like, oh, they did, but I like what they've done. He wasn't up to date on their additions, so it'll be interesting to see how they play it out over the year.
And it might, the Bayou City Heat, as my inside information tells me, just playing with them, right? We're always been a very, very close team. But Blake is, if there's ever a divide, right, it seems to center around Blake. And the fact that he has split off means that there probably won't be any conflicts amongst the Heat as the tournament goes on. So they're joint, they're good, team spirit can carry them kind of a far away, I would imagine.
And it's looking like, I don't know if he's made the, has called it out, but I think Joseph Fleeks is.
Yeah, Joe's back. Yep, Big Joe's back. Yep.
So I think they're going to be all right. It's with Mike Coughlin and Randy George helping them with the defensive side of the game, which has always been, the struggle there.
Whoa.
I think it's a big step up for Bayou City. I think. A big step up here for some defensive ads there.
I said this to Eric yesterday, so I might as well say it again here to everybody else. But when we were talking about the Heat, my concern for them is the fact that when they're all together, they, from the outside looking in, didn't seem to put enough emphasis on defense for me. Year in and year out, I could always count on their offense, but you never knew what you were getting defensively. And now they're not you know what I mean? They're a little more spread out, and so I expect them to be a contender and finish high, in top 5, top 6. Yeah. But how if they could go above that, it's going to depend on whether or not they could put it together defensively. I believe.
For sure.
Yeah, the Heat is over the last 14 years has focused on defense. Since I've come over there, and then John Parker came over there 5 years ago. So we have strong defensive backgrounds. It's just hard. The Heat, doesn't get to practice much. It seems like it rains forever in Houston. But the Heat has they have the ability to be really, really good on defense.
They have one of the wins over the Thunder in that streak, that 5-year streak there where Bayou City beat them one time with good defense.
No, without a doubt. So they'll be all right.
Yeah, to ruin my little joke while you were talking, Seth. I was going to break out some old school. Sounds good, Hud. Show me the numbers.
They had old Rob Wygant making putouts back there. I remember.
Oh,
big bad Rob Wygant. The next team on our list is another Texas team, the BCS Outlaws. That's a team we've never had on the show that we need to reach out and bring in.
I don't know if they're, I haven't seen them practice, or they used to be pretty active on the social media. They had a really good Facebook page, but they've been, since the pandemic, they've kind of slowed down. And I know Hillary, their main player out there, she traveled with Bayou City last year, I believe, and I believe she's part of the new team with Blake now. So I'm wondering if there's a BCS.
Well, wasn't John Starks always big in the BCS, and then he leave or whatever?
Right.
I don't follow any of this stuff.
Right. Yeah. Stark no longer. He took a coaching position outside of the region, and so he was no longer available to coach that team. And they had a year. I think they did all right. They have a Hillary and her dad. Her dad's a pretty good pitcher, and so we'll see what happens. If they combine with the new Houston split. I think that'd be a good move.
Hurricanes,
BCS, Outlaws.
I guess, and I don't have any information yet. Because the tournament's in Texas, the World Series this year is in Texas. I guess all these Texas teams, I kind of expect them to be there, because if there's any time that it's easier to get your team to the World Series, it's when it's in your own state. So. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the Outlaws, see if they get it back together this year. Next on the list, a team that has not been at the World Series since before the pandemic in 2019, the Boston Renegades. I'm expecting them to make a return this year. You have any reason to think they won't, Rich?
Oh, no, they're going to come, and they're going to be scary. Just watch, with kind of the weirdness at the top here, with all the Thunder and the Edge, and the Jets kind of changing a lot of their leadership and things like that. Boston's coming in like the computerized program that they are, and if they have some speed, and they were working on it. They had a couple new guys that were, I think it was Sean Devenish, made the All-Star team. Back in the last time they were there, and
we got the
home run hitter. Yeah, they got the big home run hitter.
Christian Saxton.
Who hits a home run. Yep, Saxton, who hits home runs every World Series.
I know he's a great bat. I didn't know he's a big home run hitter or whatever. He's somebody I'd like to have on the show. He before he lost his eyesight, I believe, played some college baseball or minor league baseball, something along those lines.
Yep. And Boston's going to bring all their 28-ounce bats and do it the way they do it all the time, and they're going to make it scary. They'll be top three for sure.
Wow, big prediction for a team that hasn't been there. Like, it'll be 3 years since they've played in their last. I know they've played some games and they've looked good, but that's big prediction putting them in the top three.
I think so. They got top three. I think.
Next up is our only team from Florida, the Braille Bandits of Palm Beach County. They're one of my favorite names outside of the Blind Jays from Toronto, who are not registered, unfortunately. But the Braille Bandits and the Blind Jays have been my two favorite team names. So I've never caught up with them. Greg Lindbergh, who does the Eyes Free Sports podcast. He's from Florida, and he's been with the Braille Bandits, but he's been playing, I think he played with Long Island last year. I've been meaning to catch up with him, see why he's not playing with his Florida folk anymore.
Yeah, well, I think he's out in Tampa, which, all those areas there, I guess you can get to each other pretty easily, but, yeah, Florida, I'm not too sure. And I know Willie, one of the Florida beat ballers, I think he's been playing with another team too. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, if these guys show up to the World Series, and what they're kind of working on out there.
This next team reminds me, I got something to ask you about your own podcast, but the BSO Philly Fire team that features our buddy Johnny Ma, who you just had on your podcast not too long ago.
I got to ask, what is the BSO?
I don't
That's
know.
the Blind Sports Organization.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like their overall umbrella sponsor.
Gotcha. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know the Philly
Fire. I'm glad
Fire.
Richie was here. I couldn't answer that.
So, yeah. Watch it be something totally different, but it makes sense, right? Blind Sports Organization.
No, that sounds right. I knew it was something like that, but I could not remember.
But yeah, big sponsor. You know what's really cool about there? I don't know if they have the same agreement, but Jersey has one too, and it's you know, where they get money through the rehab agency for adapted sports. And it's, you know, that's a pretty good deal. But yeah, Johnny, what was your question, Neil?
Well, you had a bunch of people on the Beat podcast here recently where you guys were talking about bats. But, you know, you guys didn't really give the names of any of these bats you were talking about. The only names that you guys ever said were Easton and Black Max. And in the context that you said them in, made it sound like the Black Max was made by somebody else, because Axel Cox was saying how he's been going back and forth between his Easton and his new Black Max that he has. So he makes it sound like the Black Max was made by somebody else. But like when Faith talked about her bomb bat, she never said what kind of bat it was. Like, there's no other really brand of bat that you guys talked about. I mean, I prefer the Black Max. I think that's the best beat ball bat, but you didn't give us a lot of names, man.
Yeah, we had the Black Max. That's what everybody uses. Basically, what do you guys use? Everybody's using Black Max or some Easton bat, you know, that's more of a baseball bat, not a softball bat, kind of a structure.
That's my point. Like Easton, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing was ever said.
All of it was go find it on eBay.
Yeah, go find a Black Max on eBay.
Go find
You'll be good.
Black Max on eBay. If it's 28 ounces, it'll be easier to swing. That was pretty much it. But yeah.
But shout out to the Philly Fire here, Johnny Moss.
Well, they added Tyler Rodriguez this year.
Yeah, Tyler Rodriguez
Scott,
joining
big old Scott Hogwood and his family are going to bring their eyes and be spotters and catchers and videotapers and all that stuff. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, they and I know they're missing other players that they normally would have had last year, but they had what I consider to be kind of a disappointing year for their talent level.
Yeah,
but I expect them to make a strong bounce back.
That's true. There's going to be a front guy named Casey and his dad who's probably going to be pitching, Pat, and police officer out in Philly. And they're going to be a great, you know, they're definitely a great addition this year to the stats for the Philly for sure.
All right, Seth, I need help with this next name. Team, a new team we never heard of from Missouri, the Cape. Gerardo. I
believe Gerardo.
I don't know how that's true. I mean, I'm not arguing with you, but it's Girardeau. I guess that makes sense, Gerardo.
Yeah. It's like Boudreaux has that EAU.
Cajun. You said it was French before, man. I don't know why you question yourself.
I know. I had forgotten until I was reading. I forgot there was a D there. And as soon as I saw the D, I was like, oh yeah, it is Gerardo. But our history professor, Mr. Seth Clark, was explaining that some of the French settlers ended up there in Missouri. So that's where Cape Girardeau comes from. But the Bats, I don't know if that's a team that we could count on being at the World Series, but that's a new name. We got the Chicago Comets. We know they're going to be there. The Cleveland Scrappers, man, that's a team that's been around since before Seth and I started playing in the 80s. Do you have anything on them, Richie? Do you know if they're going to be at the World Series?
You know, I don't think they'll make the World Series, but they're definitely in the Chicago tournament. They always are. You know,
yeah, that's weird to me. Like they go to the Chicago tournament every June, and then don't go to the World Series.
Yeah. They don't have I guess they don't have enough of a program and finances is what it all comes down to. I think Jeff Dell's still, you know, their main player. And, you know, he's pushing, you know, up there in age and whatnot. But hey, I had a question on these, the Bats, the new team. Do you think it's the bats the animal or the bats?
Yeah, I was wondering that when I wrote it myself. I was like, that's kind of like my blind jay. It's like, blind bats. You know what I mean? It's like, I like that. It's like, they're probably talking about like bats you swing.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, the Comets, they have a game coming up mid-April or late April against the Archers. There's going to be a couple scrimmages between them this season, and so they'll kind of kick off their season with.
Ain't nothing like seeing a 12 and 13th place team scrimmage each other 3 times. Those teams talk so much trash to each other out on B-Ball Nation. I figured me throwing a little jab out won't hurt anybody. You won't cry.
It's a good little rivalry. Good little rivalry. They both got their social media on lock. Yeah. Let's see if they can score some runs.
Next on our list, our friends, the Dynamic Divas of the women of our league. So both teams from the women of our league, the Dynamic Divas and the Southwest Bombshells, have registered as teams, but I think it's safe to say ahead of time that neither of them will be playing in the actual World Series as a team. All the players will be part of their individual teams, that they already play for, but before Wool. But the Dynamic Divas and the Southwest Bombshells that do an exhibition game each year for the women of our league. They're registered. The Gateway Archers, we know they're big players. They're all over the place all the time. I think this is the other Texas team from Beaumont we were talking about before we started recording. The Beaumont Triangle Out of Sight Players. It's OUTTA, Out of Sight Players.
I think it's Golden Triangle Out of Sight.
What'd I say?
You said Beaumont Triangle.
Oh,
Golden
sorry.
Triangle.
Beaumont.
They're from Beaumont, Texas.
Yeah, Beaumont's one of the 3 that make the triangle. So.
No, that was just
the Golden Triangle was like a drug running term or something like that.
It's
like
oil. That. It's oil, my friend.
Okay.
It's that gold Earl.
Texas tea.
That's true. You better recognize.
Something Texans are more willing to kill for over than drugs. No, none of us have any idea like how far along the Golden Triangle Out of Sight players are. We don't know
because they're out of sight, Neil Dog. They're out of sight.
I like that name because there's been a beatball team before back in the 80s, I think from New York, that was called Out of Sight, but that something that right after I lost my eyesight at 11 years old that somebody taught me to tell people, because in the 70s that was like 60s 70s that was a big saying like, hey, out of sight, man.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a cool play on words, like, Neil, why'd you run into that? So I'm out of sight, yo. So,
no, because I'm an idiot. I don't
know. Because I rearranged my own furniture.
Yeah, don't say blame it on your blindness, man. That's why these stupid sighted people feel like that, man. No. I digress.
Next on our list, the Houston Hurricanes.
Oh, what?
Register. They're there.
Out there.
The team that President Blake Boudreau
I always said,
went off and started.
People call him a cheater. I say that's bullshit, and I use that term gladly. It's bullshit. He is the best big defender I've ever seen. Ever. That dude is good.
Yeah, I give him credit just for even getting down to pick up the ball. I don't care if he's cheating or what, but that's like 50 squats in a week, in a day or something.
I mean, he's a big guy. He's tall. He's heavy, man. And that guy, I played. I practiced with him. I don't know how many damn times.
Yeah.
And I can say, I've practiced with other players that I can say, that was something that was questionable. But I've never practiced with Blake Boudreau and said, oh, man, that's questionable right there.
Yeah. I know I'm the one who was right in the middle of the 6-person taping and whatnot, but it was just like, hey, you're gonna tape us, we're gonna tape you, and we'll see who can play beat ball with you.
Had no idea we were going to be taking this kind of a turn in our conversation.
But
I haven't really personally heard a lot of speculation about Blake not being honest as a player. So
we had a big conversation about Beat Ball Nation where I was saying it was BS, and Jared and I went kind of back and forth on it a little bit. But in the end, it's either here or there
somehow.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the Hurricanes do. I know they have a new pitcher named KB, is what Blake told me, who traveled to the World Series for the first time, I think, last year with them. And they've got Drew Burnett, and they've got,
they got Jason Walters.
They got Jason
Walters with them and stuff like that.
Some of the new guys, Hunter.
Yep, Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter, the Bull.
Juan Munoz.
Yeah, Juan Munoz.
Hunter Munoz, isn't it? Oh,
Hunter
Mouton. Yeah. Hunter the Bull Mouton. Yeah. Actually, Hunter had reached out to me at one point. He wanted to come on the show and talk about the Hurricanes. So I'd like to still do that if Blake's going to let him. Blake might have stepped in and put a hex on that.
Because Neil attacks him so viciously. So
not as supportive as that dog.
I'll be trying to show the man love. We don't talk. We've unfriended each other on Facebook, but I will say he is a damn good defensive player, and I do not think he cheats. Everything else questionable, but I do not think he cheats.
we were better friends when he was president, so now that he's not going to be president, we'll be friends again, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know that he and I will be getting past our differences.
Yeah, I don't think he and I ever will either, but it's what it is.
We bleed that Aggie maroon, so it's kind of tough for us.
We next up are 2 indie teams. We're back down to 2 indie teams after having 3 or 4 registered last year. I think even the Indie Soul were registered last year, but this year it's just the Indie Edge and the Indie Thunder. I think we've talked a lot about them.
We've only had the Thunder on a freaking 1,000 times, man. We don't need to talk about them anymore. Who's next on the list?
We got the Lone Star Road Runners.
Old school team. Old school. Fort Worth in the house.
Expect them to be around. We got the Long Island Bombers registered.
Boom.
Minnesota Millers go be in the mix.
In the mix, or are they going to be there? Are they going to be in the mix? Are you predicting a top 3 finish for the Millers? Is that what you're doing?
That I am not doing. There were rumors that their pitcher wouldn't be with them, but
I think he threatens that every year. Old Dan does that every year. He's crying into his 9th beer on Saturday. I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Dan's my buddy. Leave Dan alone.
And then it kind of warms up, and then it warms up in Minnesota. He's like, I need to play some b-ball.
like I used to be as a little kid, 8, 9 years old, when the Cowboys would lose in the championship game, and I'd go into my room and take all the stuff off my walls and put it in my closet. And when I'd wake up the next morning, I have to take everything out of my closet and put it back up on the walls, man. You just got to let the pain go away a little bit, pitcher Dan. You just got to let the pain go away a little bit, man. It's all right.
No, I like the Millers.
This next registration, I think we can all assume, is not going to be an actual team. The NBBA officials. I'm not even sure why this is something that's registered, other than the only thing that I can think of, and there's got to be a different way around this. When you pay for your membership, if you just want to be a member of the NBBA, it forces you to assign yourself to a team. So somebody like myself, the last few years just paying individually, I have to pick something to, you know what I mean, rather than there being a choice of no affiliation. You have to assign yourself to a team that's registered when you pay for membership. So I'm guessing I'm guessing, instead of putting at large or something, they make this NBBA officials, and that's what all the officials have to pay for their membership under. But there's got to be a smarter way to do that, I would think. But what do I know? We also had the two New Jersey teams, the Lightning and the Titans. Any idea if the Lightning are going to be back playing? They haven't been at the World Series for a long time. Richie, do you have anything?
No, I don't know anything about the I think the Lightning, they're showing up to a Long Island tournament though. So I think they do have enough put together to do kind of like the Cleveland thing and do regional stuff. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what the Titans look like this year with some of some of the folks that split off and things like that. A lot of them. Yeah. So we're interested to see what they look like. And just one shout out to the NFB whoops. Scratch that, Frank. The NBBA officials, and that's our new Jason Price, man. He's really active in talking with the community on a regular basis. That's something I just want to
he's the head umpire. He's a head umpire, and I do like to see that. But something that went on last year, I never said anything about it that I did not like. There was a rule that I think JT Herzog might have put forward, a proposal to where I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah,
you could actually feel the ball if it was trapped against your body or something. I don't know, but it didn't pass.
It doesn't have to be off your body, basically.
But I felt like Jason, as the head umpire, shouldn't really push people to vote one way or the other. Like the members should vote on rules the way they wish. He was out there lobbying for people. Hey man, if you don't agree with how I think you should vote on this, come talk to me. I'll convince you. Like he was committed to not letting that rule pass. And I don't think a head umpire should take that kind of a stance personally. Just my own thought.
No, we have a pretty I don't know how to put it nicely, but a lot of sometimes that's when people learn is in that boardroom, right? Or
I don't mind him making himself available to talk clarity, but lobbying for a rule when you're the head umpire doesn't seem appropriate.
It was interesting, because JT's respected, and sometimes when he speaks out loud, it's it's law.
That's true.
And so it was interesting to see how that kind of worked and played out, but yeah.
A rule like that would cut down on the rule it would help the defense.
Yeah, you can make a put out by just putting your knee on the ball, basically. If you trap it, basically, you don't have to have it off your body. Was the proposal?
So you could just trap it. I was thinking that you were like, you know how it is, like when you get the ball and you roll over and it's on your chest.
And that's what I felt like he was saying. Like in baseball, that's an out. But baseball, softball, whatever.
Right. But I guess that's the thing is like, how are you going to know if their hands are on it, if their stomach's on it, or if they?
No, but I'm saying from the other side. So the person would be on their back,
right,
and the ball is on their chest.
Gotcha.
That is not an out.
No,
but I think it might help. I mean, there's times those go to the runner, right? If everything, I think rules should be trying to improve the defense now. I think that might help the defense in a little way. That may be good, but no, I would not just say stopping the ball and trapping it on the ground between the body and your ground, the ground. That doesn't make any sense. But on your chest, not away from your body, I think that might have some.
I think it wasn't off the ground, it wasn't off your body, so it was just too hard for officials to tell.
All right.
We got a California team, the Pasadena Cubs. I don't know why California would go with the Cubs for a name, but
you could call them with the kitty cats, right? Kittens.
Well,
the other one's the Panthers, right?
Are Cubs Panthers or are like?
No, that's a different team.
I got you. A Panther might have a Cub.
Babies.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Like a lion is a Cub. A lion has a cub.
Right.
Right. So
I think that's where they're going with that because I think most of them are all
that's
cat related.
Right. And this is their kids' team or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that Kobe.
it is?
Kobe, their coach, is kind of running that team, and it's their youth program.
You guys know more than I do about that. Cool. I like that.
Yeah, they're a keeper. They had their first the Panthers had their first practice too yesterday.
Cool. So Pasadena Cubs, the St. Louis Firing Squad, which is a team name that's been around for a while, but they haven't been at the World Series for a minute. Any expectation?
Who was that? I'm sorry.
The St. Louis.
Wilma's team.
Whoa, dropped my paper.
Wilma Chestnut's team,
right.
And Peggy, Wilma and Peggy's team. I don't know what they're going to put together. We'll see.
All right. Although I thought I saw something recently that Wilma was associated with that Cape Girardeau team. I don't know if that's accurate, but I just read.
I mean, it might be true, and a lot of these is some of these folks need to register a team to vote, and Wilma's been around.
That's the rights to vote.
Yeah, Wilma's been around a long time. She likes her votes.
All right.
Wilma likes to vote. She knows what votes mean around here.
Next up is the team that Richie has abandoned, the San Antonio Jets. Now that Kevin isn't there to pitch him anymore, there he is, off running away.
Yeah, no, they looked so good yesterday too with the new pitcher, man. They put up, I mean, he's hitting pop-ups. Jeremy's making them hit pop-ups, which is really helping everybody out in that team. And that I practiced with them a little bit over the holiday break, and they're still going to be up there, top 3.
Yeah, I when I was talking to Eric yesterday, that was another team. He's like, yeah, the Jets. I don't know what they're planning. I was like, man, this guy Jeremy, they believe in him. You know what I mean? And this was before I went and found any of the scores from yesterday, but in that little Texas tournament. But I was like, man, I can't say how good this kid's good. This guy, he's not a kid, but how good Jeremy's going to be. But they believe in him, and that's a big part of it.
No, man, and he's got the ever aggressive coaching from Lupe Perez right behind him. So he's got someone up his butt all the time, talking that how Lupe coaches. Everybody knows how Lupe coaches.
Well, I know how Lupe is. I got no idea how he coaches. I don't know how good a plan that is.
Is and coaches. and he's not the coach, but he's Jeremy's, he's kind of he's Jeremy and him their family, and
that's his sister's boyfriend, so
right.
Woo! Well, that'll be fun to watch how that plays out. We have another California team that I never heard of, the Santa Clarita Stingers. In Santa Clarita?
There goes that cat team.
That's it. Yeah, they're the cat team represents.
That's their B team or whatever.
So B is actually a person.
Oh, really? Okay, when you said B team, I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, B Yang.
AB and kids.
Yeah, B Yang, who's played a couple different
okay,
teams.
He played with Philadelphia last year.
Yeah,
with the Fire.
Pretty good defender, and
had a good tournament defensively.
And he lives out in Santa Clarita, so it's kind of hard for him to get out to a practice. And Derek Keepers has a dream of, having a bunch of little California teams around here so we can practice together and stuff like that. So he's building it, piece by piece there with the Panthers, with the Cubs, with the Stingers. So B will probably travel with the Panthers, but we need those votes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't imagine all these California teams are going to be at the World Series, but who knows? The next one up is Darren Keeper's Panthers, the SGV. I have no idea what that stands for, the SGV Panthers.
San Gabriel Valley.
Ah, that does make sense. All right. All right, next up, we have the South Georgia Copperheads, our friend Greg McDuffie Sr. They were registered, or they were scheduled to be in the World Series last year. They were going to be one of the 20 teams, and they had to pull out late, unfortunately. So hopefully Greg will have them together this year.
Speaking of barbecue, right? Wasn't he the barbecue dude? Didn't he do barbecue? Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he put down some barbecue.
I think he had like a barbecue.
Yeah,
stand.
You're right.
Yeah,
he started like a new business or whatever, putting barbecue out. I think he was doing it out of his house, actually.
Yeah, he was like something like that. But he was.
You're right. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Speaking of barbecue, though, none of you guys were privy to a barbecue conversation.
That's pretty good, though. You pulled that
dude, memory on. Look at the big braid on Brad. But go ahead.
Our second wool team, the Southwest Bombshells. We talked about them earlier. Another California team, the Stockton Stingrays. Stingrays, Cubs. Stingers up.
Okay. You get it now, Richie? We're all vibing together. You from Texas. You don't know how this California's vibe.
Yeah, I get that. Stingrays and the Stingers.
Yeah. And the Panthers and the Cubs, man. You got it now, man.
All right, we're going. And then the Dogs.
And then the Dogs. The big Dogs now.
Our friends, the Tyler Tigers, are registered. We know they're going to be there.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
The last two on the list, the West Coast Dogs and the Wichita Falcons.
Okay.
That
is our complete list.
Well, you want to say anything about Wichita? They're just,
What up?
What's up, Wichita?
What's up,
Arlene's been our friend for over 20 years, around 20 years. I don't even think she watches our show, man. Listens to anything. So what do I got for them? Arlene and Ira.
Remember the dude who was on our show, man, they were passionate. They were like, man, we're going. I remember dude was wanting to take me on when I was joking about them finishing last and stuff. He's like, man, we're going to prove you wrong. Yeah. So I believe in you. Top 3 finish for the Wichita. Guaranteed.
Back to barbecue. Y'all remember the barbecue bracket? They'll be in there.
Right? 1, 2 barbecue.
They'll be in there. Top 3 barbecue bracket.
Oh, Neil, do you want to address the champions, the West Coast Dogs? The world champions.
Not a lot to address, but I don't know. A lot of odd feedback has come back towards me. This one, I don't know if it was being said tongue in cheek or what, but somebody's like, so when are you announcing that you're running for president? Obviously, all these California teens are to get you to beat Jerry for presidency. It's like, you are way overusing your imagination.
Dude, it's the naked ambition that you display on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? It's that naked ambition, Neil, dog.
I don't know any of these California teams except for Stockton, and they're not going to be at the World Series. I feel confident saying that. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope they can be, but I don't expect them to be there. But I can say very definitely I have no plans of running for president. So
now you sound like a politician. I have no plans of running for president.
I do not.
Until I do.
I do have thoughts of running for a board position. I'll be honest about that, but I think it would be arrogant for me to try to run for president after not having been at a World Series since 2009. You know what I mean?
We all agree.
So that is not in the plans, but I had a conversation with Demetrius Mora, and we were going back. He's like, man, I want the Dogs to be there. One of my first games, first time I ever played the Dogs, you guys beat us 21-0. He's like, I want to beat all you old people. It's like, man, well, for one, not all us old people outside of Seth and I. Eric, I talked to Eric yesterday. He asked about the Dogs being registered. He said nothing about wanting to play with the Dogs. I fully expect Mike Finn to be on the Austin Blackhawks this year.
And we're not bringing back the Dogs so we can have a freaking retirement team, man. What are you talking about? The Dogs don't go in to finish 15th.
Well, you had your old friend Bill Johnson saying top 3 finish.
I missed that somehow.
He knows.
I saw him post that on the Beatball Nation for sure.
If the Dogs are gonna be there, we're gonna be there on Friday, man. Come on, now we all know that.
I was already going to ask you this, Seth, because you've been very strong that nobody outside of California, which actually makes Richie a possibility to play for us. But you've been very clear. Nobody outside of California to be on the team. But I was going to ask you about Greg Parra because he's in North Carolina. He's always been a big volunteer for us. But now that Bill Johnson lives in Oregon, that outs him too.
Yeah. What about Lex Gillette?
Anybody who's going to play on the California team is going to have to take the vaccine. So that eliminates all you people from Texas. I'm sorry.
I'm boosted. And the flu. I had to get the flu, the boost.
I told you you're an adopted Californian now, man. You don't. It's not like you moved to rural California. You moved to the liberal
Berserkly.
Yeah, exactly, man.
For sure.
Well, that is our list, everybody. It's a long list of teams, and I originally was going to ask that we all give a guesstimate on how many we think is realistic, but it took too long to go through the list. I don't remember. I know at one point I counted
20. See how quick
I counted like 21 that I thought were realistic.
I'm just counting. I'm just guesstimating. What about you, Richie? Doesn't take that long. Give me a guesstimation, Richie.
I think 15 will show up to the World Series.
15.
Oh, that's a low number.
I got 20. Neil, you?
I say 21.
Oh, okay.
It's an odd number. 21. I don't even remember who I eliminated and who I thought would be there. But when I went down the list, I was thinking, I think 21 are kind of realistic.
Well, there goes my suggestion that we bet on it because who's ever closest, because I only have one spot. I can be right or wrong. Neil has 21, Richie has 15 and 19. Neil has everything over 21. I got 20. So no bet.
Yeah.
No bet.
I hope Richie's wrong. That'd be a low count for the tourney.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You never
Hopefully not. I'm hoping, but it seems like we've been. What did we have last year? Was it 19?
We dropped down to 19 after Southwest dropped out.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's all I got, fellas.
All right. Thank you, Neil Dog. Thank you, Seth.
Hey, when are we going to be invited on the Beat podcast?
We're working,
man. Hell no. You've been on here like 2 times, man.
You've been on here like 5 times. Kalari Jackson said that we're legends. How come you don't have no legends? Come on, there.
We're actually, thank you for putting that out there, because the next one will be about the Hall of Fame. So we will have to be talking to some legends. So we'll be making that happen. And Axel and Demo and Johnny and Faith are all kind of now on board with the program, and so they'll be doing some of the interviews with some of these people, so we can kind of break it up, bring some more voices, and get some help on this. But we're hoping to, now that beat ball season's back up and running, we'll put something on a little more regularly and get people more interested. But
just gotta ask, with all those people being involved, does that mean we'll get more than 2 a year now?
We're gonna get at least 1 a month here, Neil.
All right,
1 a month. You guys keep it busy with the weekly, man. And
does that start?
We're working on some little beat ball documentaries and things like that.
Hey, is that going to be March?
Yeah, we got one coming out here pretty soon.
All right, nice.
So he has committed, Neil Dog, he has committed to doing 5 episodes.
5 episodes.
5 episodes, Neil Dog. We got him down for 5.
Season 3,
Over and under, Neil Dog.
There it is. At the air, season 3.
This is
season 3 of the podcast.
Season 3, man. we're like Ozark, man.
Ozark does 10 episodes a year.
Gotta put them out. All right, fellas.
That's it, everybody. Thanks, Richie. Appreciate you joining us, man. I'm probably going to get my balls busted because, people, when we have somebody like Richie, it's been on a long time. So I love what you guys are doing, but you guys should mix it up more. Man, Richie's the only one that responded and went out in the Facebook groups, Nation and Beatball Central. It's like, hey, we're going to be talking about all teams registered. Anybody want to join us? Richie's the only one that responded. Yeah. And when he did, he's like, hey, man, if you don't have too many already, I'd like to come on. It's like, too many? Yeah, thank you for responding.
No, I like talking, man. Getting the itch again with beat ball coming around and everybody practicing and tournaments coming up, that Yeah, it's good to chat about the teams, man. Thanks for setting it up, Neil.
Yeah, anytime. All right, that is it. Thanks again, Richie. Thank you, Seth Dog. He's already out. He/him is gone. That works again on my. You were gone when he came in before we started recording, but that little thing on Zoom that says somebody has come in or gone out, it stopped working on my end for like a year, and then today it's working again. I thought that was cool. But
I thought you were going to say you had like a pronoun generator, he/him.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you have one of those, man. Cool.
I like hearing when people come and go. I wasn't hearing that for a long time, so that was cool. But all right, man. Thanks, Seth Dog. Thank you, Frank Porter, for everything you do, and thanks to anybody that checked it out. We'll catch you next time.